He got me 5 clients. What works with the masses, this is what converts. Where suddenly I found a format and I call it.
You were stuck in that and then you had that rise.
Here are the 5 ways to do this. I'm bored by my own content and I need to change something.
Asking ChatGPT, what should I post today? Because
for me, it's most important if you have never created content before. First, I'm going to tell you something about the hooks that you might not know.
Eventually it's about content that converts.
15,000 euros in the first week. And one of her pieces where she goes viral and has clients, it's actually.
Today, we're going to talk about content that helps you to convert. Sometimes we tend to overcomplicate content, even though it's such a beautiful thing that you shouldn't overthink that much. You should be curious to try so many different things. Sina, let's start. I want to create content. I have a message to share. Where do I start?
Okay, so if you've, I would say there's 2 ways to deal with it. Have you ever read the book Steal Like an Artist?
No, but I've heard about it.
Yeah, so Steal Like an Artist basically is the philosophy that all artists aren't unique. They kind of take inspiration from everywhere. And so, for example, Virgil Abloh had this 3% rule. I just copy something and change only 3%. And then I put it out, which a lot of people say like, okay, that's a little drastic.
Yeah.
But for me, it's most important. If you have never created content before, first steal, then innovate. The reason why I would say this is because you don't know what good content is.
Oh, yeah.
You have no idea what aesthetic is. You don't have no idea what good captions are. You don't know what transitions are. And you don't want to innovate without knowing.
Yes,
right?
How could you?
Yeah, and so when we first start drawing, right? If you draw a flower, you don't just imagine a flower. You look at a flower and you draw. Or sometimes if you're a child, you have the flower already and you just color in, right?
Yes.
That's the thing that you need to do in the beginning. If you have never created content, you need to get that picture and just draw color in. Yeah. Okay, so you copy every single thing, because if you copy, then you will understand, okay, this frame is in a way. So for example, like we have a frame, like we create content, okay, reels. And where are her eyes? Her eyes are not up here or down there. They are exactly in the middle, or like rule of thirds. Too complicated for the beginners. But they are exactly here, like I'm looking at them. So when I steal that type of content and I want to also sit in front of the camera and talk in the camera, I try to position myself exactly in the middle. I don't go left, right, up, down. I try to like not wiggle the camera. And so in the beginning, you kind of steal without actually knowing the point of it. Yeah. But you still make good content because you're stealing exactly the shots that the other person creates, maybe the hooks the other person creates, maybe the length. So I always say when you steal content, go for aesthetic. Okay, steal the aesthetic, because in the beginning, again, you don't know why it looks nice. You just copy. Okay, you steal the length of the piece of content. So we're always talking about reels. Okay, reels are the best performing pieces of content on any platform. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, even LinkedIn, reels are the best performing. So let's not even talk about posts or images or whatever it might be. Reels, okay? So short form videos. Now, if I have a short form video I want to steal because I have no idea how to create good content, I steal the aesthetic, then I steal the length of the video. Okay, if that video that I want to steal is 20 seconds, do not create a movie that's 2 minutes 30, okay? 20 seconds, try to tell the message there. And you copy the hook. Now, what is the hook? To keep it simple, we can go a little bit more into that. But to keep it simple, the hook is the first 5 seconds of your video, sometimes 3 seconds. And it's 90% of the reason why a video performs or not. Yeah. So first you steal everything. By the way, you don't have to actually put it out if it's actually 100% stolen. But first you steal everything, and then that's how you train yourself.
Yeah, I love that.
So again, when I started, I played professional tennis. My father and I would watch Serena Williams on TV for 2 hours every single day, and we would steal everything that she does. We wouldn't necessarily know why. We would steal how she breathes, how she screams when she does the shot, the technique, how she like runs and stops. And so we stole it because this is the best person out there doing it. So obviously they're doing it for some reason. I don't actually need to understand the reason yet. I just need to copy her, and then I can innovate later. I can put my like own little spark on it. So that's what I always say in the beginning. Now, the steal like an artist philosophy is really important. You don't actually steal the exact thing forever. You steal from different sources. So if you're a little bit more, this is like for very beginners. This is how you train yourself. And if you're a little bit more advanced, you start stealing from different places. So for example, I like Nara Smith's content because her content is aesthetic and moody and she has different shots. Like, I love the aesthetic of it. I don't necessarily need to do the storytelling. I do like the hooks because, again, the hooks are 90% of why I would watch the video. And so I look for like the vibe of the video. Maybe I steal from her. Then I have another content creator that like does really good storytelling. The way that she describes a situation or a learning or talks about her expertise is not like my 3 tips too. But she tells a story like, you know, when I was 12 years old, I had to take out the garbage and it taught me blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And so I steal storytelling from her. There. Yeah. Like I look at why did I like this story? Yeah. Oh, because she said she was 12 years old. She had to take out the garbage, 2 very specific things. It was an emotional story that connected with her childhood, her parents, and it leaned back to what her expertise is, which is maybe mindset or, you know, healing, emotional healing. How can I now apply this to my topic, to my content? Okay, I'm stealing the aesthetic from Nara Smith, which is like beautiful clothes, like calm voice, you know, the hook is really beautiful. You can see her whole face.
And pretty elegant as well, right? The way she moves and everything. It just looks so feminine.
Like, okay, that's my style. That's my feminine vibe. Then you steal the storytelling from that woman and you say, what happened to me when I was young? That like a specific moment that maybe taught me something about business or in my case, personal branding. Or making money, right? Those are the topics that I talk about. Then I can think, okay, that something happened when I was 14 years old. My mom said something to me at the breakfast table. So I used the same storytelling style. When I was 14, my mom said something to me while I had cereal and it changed my entire life. Da, 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 da. And then you can see someone else and you like their caption style and you're like, you know what? I want that same caption style. And so steal like an artist basically means you steal from different sources. Do not steal from your own industry. That's exactly what's going to make you fall down because you're going to look like everyone else. Like if you are in the fitness industry and you copy every single other fitness trainer, you're going to look like everyone else. Yeah. But if you take inspiration from like a girl talking about self-love and someone talking about I don't know, travel, and they have like the storytelling format of travel that just like captivates you and you want to watch every single video. Ask yourself why. Yeah. Why do I like this? Yeah. Why do I like that? Yeah, I love that. How can I make it fit to me? And then you start stealing. So that's first for beginners and like a little bit like after beginners. And then we have the advanced. We can talk about it.
But wait, before we go to the advanced, let's get into hooks because hooks can be in different ways, right? And I think that's interesting for people to explore because you can use them in different ways. And I think we've realized as well that visual hooks are working much, much better right now and that different angles and all this, people are bored just to look at it. Before it was more like people were throwing apples and whatsoever into scenes or, you know, there is these things that you sometimes subconsciously are not aware of when you're watching it, especially when you're not creating content and when you want to start, you might not be aware what people are using. And we talk here about purposeful, and I know the word might be harder, but being intentional with your content instead of just creating something. Yeah. So let's talk about hooks and being more intentional in it.
Okay, so hooks, basically the one thing that you need to know about hooks, people always say like, this is the perfect hook to use. Like, use a negative hook. Don't say my 3 tips too, but don't do this, whatever. Well, let's just say 2 things. If you want content that converts, you need to speak directly to your dream client. So that's what you need to figure out first. Yeah. Who is that person? Yeah. Then I'm going to tell you something about hooks that you might not know. There are 3 types of hooks. It's an audio hook, a text hook, and a visual hook, something that you just mentioned. So audio hook is what I say. Text hook is the text that I see on screen. And the visual is the actual visual. What is happening? Are you talking to the camera? Are you dancing? Is an apple flying? Is it B-roll? Is your baby hitting your face? Whatever it might be. Now, if the visual hook could have some kind of movement in it, perfect. Your visual hook should also have a person in it. Now, if you create content with your face should be there. If you create faceless content, it should still be you as a person. It could be like you from behind, or like moving without you seeing your face, or something like you're looking in the other direction, whatever it might be. So that's a visual hook. The visual hook combined with the audio hook and text hook is what's making a hook, right? It's not just what you say.
Yeah.
So a lot of times people are like, yeah, I used this controversial hook that went viral for everyone. Yeah, but you showed us a picture of a pen. Like, why would I stop scrolling looking at a pen? Like, the pen is right next to me. That's not something that I want to look at. And so the visual hook, in terms of like grabbing people's attention, should be a person, some kind of movement. It could be you, if you're doing a recipe, it could be you taking out the tray from the shelf, exactly, or actually you eating the final recipe, right? Yes. Something. So it's always best if you do something, and it's also so easy, like for all of the people. If you are afraid of creating content because you look like a robot, then do something while you create content. Have a cup of tea, light a candle, make a recipe, do whatever. It doesn't even matter. You can cut out something in a piece of paper. It doesn't even have to make sense. Yeah. Just do something while you're recording. Yeah. Because then the eye of the viewer has something to focus on other than your face. And you are naturally more yourself. Because your brain can't focus on being fake and doing something. They have to focus on one thing. So once you do something, you are naturally being more natural.
Yeah. And simpler, right? I mean, you could, that's what when we do B-roll, eventually it's truly the daily scenes we are in, to show people as well what we're doing and how we're doing it. And I think that makes it so relatable as well. And having those, like I love to go skating, for instance. And there are many moments where it's slippery or it's wet, or my dog throws, when I throw the ball, I go into the grass. And those are the moments people find most funny or react to, because they're like, oh God, what did she? I want to talk about her change in content, because I have known Sina before, and there was even a time, I'm saying it honestly, there was a time where I unfollowed her because I'm like, I'm not getting her. I don't understand. What is she trying to tell me? I understand it's branding, but it wasn't interesting enough for me to stay in. And attention.
I'm so curious about what, like,
I don't know what it was, honestly. I don't know what it was, but.
Do you remember how it looked? Because I had different.
No, I just remember back then you were still in Germany. Yeah. And you were even doing webinars. I don't know, I joined even, so I don't know when it was, 2021, 2020? No, that was early. No, when was your rise? When, because Sina now has.
Right. I've been doing all of this for a long time.
I know, but when, because you had that peak where you really grew.
That was last year.
Really?
Yeah. So I was stuck at 20,000 followers for an entire year.
Yeah, exactly. No, but and even earlier you were 20,000 for a certain time.
For a year, I was 10,000. And then I had a surge to 20, and then I was stuck there for a year, and then I grew from 20 to 300,000 in a year.
Exactly. But I don't know. Okay, then it was in that time, because I was in there, I think when it was 17, 16, 17, in between that. So I don't know which year it was, but I think it was longer. Maybe I just feel older. That's why I think it's longer ago. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know.
Last year was a bit fast, yeah.
Yes, but yeah, you're right. But Sina grew really fast. And, you can feel as well the confidence that shifted you into this. I feel like, I'm just telling you my personal feeling. I feel like you had that moment where you're like, I know exactly what I want to do. Maybe you reconnected with yourself, and I'm curious, because that plays a part in content too. Mm-hmm. Because eventually, if you want to share your story, you need to be aware about, what is my story to share? Mm-hmm. You need to be okay with, I'm happy to share my story. I'm confident enough to share my process or where I am right now. And I'm okay to be vulnerable and say, guys, it's not working out right now. So would you like to tell us a bit about your shift in that? Because you said you were stuck in that, and then you had that rise.
Yes. Okay, so first of all, content or your followers do not equal sales.
Yeah, okay? That's important.
That's really important.
True.
So when we talk about content that converts, it's very different than just like growing your audience. Yes. And so at the time, I was actually not focused on it. I think when you followed me, I wasn't actually focusing on Instagram. I was focusing on LinkedIn.
Maybe on LinkedIn, yes.
Yes, because most of the income that came from consulting and keynote speaking.
Nice.
And those clients were on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And so I was focusing mostly my efforts there, and I was kind of just like making Instagram like busy.
Yes.
And I kind of had no idea because I wasn't doing any coaching. I wasn't doing any work with customers in terms of like helping in the personal branding. I was more a brand strategist for companies like Adidas, BMW, Google. And so those were on LinkedIn. They were fine with my content. Like it was mostly behind the scenes of me keynote speaking and talking about brand purpose. But it actually didn't resonate with someone like you, which makes a lot of sense, right?
Right, it does.
Because you're not a big company.
No.
You're not a Fortune 500 like giant.
No.
And that's why you were like, what the hell are you talking about?
Exactly. I was like, excuse me, I don't understand what you're saying.
This is not for me.
Or I was like, it's not relevant.
Yes, exactly. And so this is so important to know where when you create content, the number one thing you need to think about is who am I talking to?
Love it. Yeah.
It's not just me sounding smart or sounding cute or whatever. Yeah. And that's why when you see people growing to like 1 million followers, you know, they might not make the money that you think they're making because they are reaching a lot of people with their content, and they might get money through like influencer deals or something. I've never done that. I'm not interested in that. I'm not an influencer, although I have hundreds of thousands of followers. For me, it's most important is who am I speaking to and how does that convert into my business. So when you followed me, it was like my focus were like Fortune 500 companies, right? They were hiring me for months and like keynote speaking and consulting. And so that was my audience. I just kind of reposted that to Instagram. Yeah. Then when I made the shift to Instagram, I started to get a lot of women saying like, what is this? What is branding? How can I apply this to myself? How did you build a brand for yourself? Because at the time I was on these big stages and I was having all of these opportunities, and women wanted to know how I got there. That's when I shifted to say, okay, let's talk about personal branding. Let me tell you how I got here. And that's when I shifted to then talk to someone like you. And suddenly I was in that, wait, I don't actually know how to speak to you, because I was speaking to companies. And they respond to very different things than you. Yes.
They have a different pain and different stories as well to say, right?
So I started to just talk about like a lot of different things, because people talked about like confidence and my friends and my family and social media and da-da-da. And I was like, I really don't know what you guys want. Like,
it is like this.
What do you want? Yes. And so I actually didn't have an offer. I never had the idea of like, I'm going to now help women build a personal brand and
have a garden and attract the right people. You didn't know that, right? It didn't come flying to you like a ping.
Yes, I always gave that advice to people in my life, right, when I met them. But I didn't focus on that
business-wise.
And then when I started to share my story of like how I got on big stages, how I work with those companies, that's when women asked me and I was able to respond.
I love that.
And so that is much easier than trying to figure out what to talk about. It's just to respond to questions they're getting anyways. Yeah. And then when I was confused about like, how do I share the message now? Is it also me just talking to the camera and like being super like proper? That is when I got stuck.
It is hard.
Because I was like, I want to answer questions, but I don't know the how. Like, how am I going to speak to you now? Yeah. You're very different than a big company. And I got stuck, I think, what a lot of women and business owners are stuck with is the expertise trap, the value trap. That let me give a lot of value without me even asking you. The teacher trap. No one wants to be taught. Like, everybody hates teachers, but all of us are online being like, here are the 5 ways to do this. Here are my 3 hacks to do this. Like, girl, I didn't ask you for this. I don't even know your face. Who are you? Yeah. Why are you telling me this? Advice?
I know, yeah.
I'm scrolling and I'm like, just another person giving me unsolicited advice. Wow. And so that's when I shifted, and then I was like, I actually posted a video. People can still see it. Like, you can still scroll down. You can find a video that said, I'm bored by my own content and I need to change something.
I might do one too because I am bored of my own content. Yes. Sorry.
Imagine if you're bored by your own content. Imagine how bored your audience is.
Yeah, I know.
And so I was at that point when I had my baby. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what it is about postpartum, but you just want to like reinvent yourself.
Yes.
You have so much ambition because you have like this little human and you're like,
magic. It's great.
New life is starting. I think, I need to like up my game. Mm-hmm. And so there's like this whole rush of wanting to grow. And I was like, yeah, I need to change something. And so I just started to see it as a game. Basically, hey, let me do a challenge. Mm-hmm. Let me do this challenge of trying to fall in love with content again and not get bored by it.
Oh, like beautiful.
And instead of just doing that in private, I just shared it online.
I love that. And as I was saying, it shows again how much your environment, and when I said I am bored, because I feel like I need to reinvent myself again. Yeah. I want those creative impulses to flow because it's not just our business, right? As business owners, it's our private life, our environment, and who we are as well that grows with the business too. Yeah. Our mindset and how we think about things. And you as a mom, and I hear that from a lot of moms, they even change coaches. They don't feel the coach or the person that was helping them anymore, the mentor, because they're like, she doesn't have a baby. Now I need somebody. Yes. Now I need somebody who has a baby because they understand me better. And those are all the changes. And that's why I think it's so beautiful to go through these different stages of growth. And you can see the content rising through that too.
Yeah, but this is what you're saying is so important also for conversion.
Yeah.
Because when I started to share, I kept my pregnancy private the entire pregnancy until like 3 months. Yeah. The baby was 3 months. And so then when I shared it, a lot of moms came to me and said, I had never resonated with your content before. And now I do. I would love to work with you because now I know that you can understand me. Can you help me build my business? Can you help me build my personal brand? And so that's super important for conversion, that you understand that once you share what makes you different, once you share that journey, you will get people, especially clients, to say, I now feel like you understand me because I am also a mom, I am also lost, I am also in this phase, I am also, or I have been, and I can see you have been and you got out of it, help me get out of it too. And that's the number one conversion reason. Because that's why proof. I say it's proof. Yeah. It's proof. You've done it yourself. Yeah. Ideally, on top of it, that's like the next level is you also helped other people do it. Yeah. But in the beginning, that's enough.
That's fine. Yeah.
That's enough to share. Yeah. And so that's why I always say your why, the root of your garden, is the number one reason people will buy from you. Because you've been through it, you showed that you got out of it, or you're getting out of it, and you can help others do the same. And so that's why it's so important to just share that journey. And it's
we think it's weird, right? We think like I have to first do it to then share it, because what if I fail? What if I don't do it?
Yeah, but and then what if you don't fail? You give it yourself as a challenge.
It's so bad. Like, what if you fail? What will happen? Come on. I always say on social media, you can never make it right anyhow. I want to say that too. I'm sorry, but you can never make it right anyhow. Somebody always has to say something.
Oh, yeah, of course.
That's fine too. I mean, I think you just have to be okay. And it's such a big step to say as well, I'm bored of my content. I'm happy to say that I am bored of my content. Not because I'm saying, it's not performing well. No, because I feel like it's not aligned to the person I am anymore. Not aligned to the thoughts that I'm not saying I'm faking them, but it's just old content. Let's talk about it. It's old content.
Let's talk about it.
Please.
Let's say you're creating new content from now on. What do you feel like you are stuck with? Why do you feel like when you look at your content, you're like, oh.
Because I feel like I am healing from perfectionism, or I'm trying to get away from that. When I say I'm healing, I think a certain part of being focused in details is what, as a woman, is important, because that's who we are. I feel, I don't know, that's my personal opinion. We like to think about certain things.
We like beautiful things.
Beautiful things, and as well, I think we think steps ahead. Because I always say, if a man would be pregnant, I think the child wouldn't survive. That's why Allah gave us this beauty. And we are the ones being able to have that beautiful job in a way. I don't know if I can call it like this, but I think we're blessed like this. That's why. Because we think steps ahead, and that's by nature given to us.
But why do you feel like it's holding you back with content? So what part of your actual content, let's say I look at a reel.
Yeah.
What do you look at that makes you feel like?
That's the thing. I think I'm not following my first impulses. Instead, I'm focused on what I think people want to hear. Like, for instance, before I was recording content, like if I was facing the camera, I got pretty comfortable with it. But I wasn't able to talk like I would love to talk because there's no person talking to me. So that's why I love the platform of podcasts, because I'm able to feel an inspiration, and I'm following my first impulse. Yes, I have shared notes with you what I want to talk about, but will I stick to it? No, I told you. No. See, me neither. And, I'm telling this to everyone that comes. I'm like, these are your notes. Because yesterday somebody told me, but Kuba, the point mentioned in chapter 2 or section 2 should be in section 3. And I'm like, it will not come like this. So thank you for telling me, but I won't. I don't even know which section. No, I'm sharing this to give it like a broad guideline, but eventually.
So it's like how you speak.
Exactly.
The how you speak. Is it also about what you speak? It's more the how.
Yeah, I think a lot. I thought a lot before about not sharing my story, because I'm like, how do I link my story to who I am? I do that in my story. So on
your story is who
I know,
are.
But I feel like, when I record stories, I'm like thinking maybe I should record my daily stories and just post them as reels, because in there I am sharing my life and sharing who I am and what I'm going through, linking it to business. In there it feels easy. Okay. But when I look at the camera, and you said it, you gave us examples in the messaging, and I have to come up with a story. I'm like, which story should I tell? I don't know what to say. Sometimes it happens. And I feel
Is it also the visual? Is it that you feel like just sitting in front of the camera?
Yeah, I think people are bored of my office and me just sitting there in front of my laptop. And I don't like to shift scenes because, again, I like to have a certain type of light. I like to have a good mic.
Yeah.
So, again.
Okay, so what kind of content do you watch yourself that makes you like, I want to work with this
Interesting. So honestly, I do watch a lot of people that are they sit somewhere and they talk. Like there's a lot of these psychologists that talk about or therapy or how to get better, self-awareness and working on yourself. And they have these calm backgrounds and they just talk in a really calm, like you as well. I watch your content because, and I told her this from the beginning, I just like the voice and how people play with the voice. And me, I tend to be pretty like, I can be in the room and be like, hello, here I am. I can be really emotional, but I can be really calm too. I feel like I'm searching for that side. So I watch this type of content. Besides of that, a lot of B-roll where I can see people in live action, like what they do.
Yes.
Yeah.
What else? So B-roll, sitting down content, calm.
Yeah.
What else?
Interesting. Action. I like adventure.
Oh, like travel vlogs?
Travel or, jumping out of a plane or doing like zip lining, like these type of adventures. Yeah, I like that.
Interesting. Okay, so now what you're going to do?
That doesn't fit, by the way, a calming content and adventure.
No, of course it can. That's the funny thing.
Okay.
Like, that's why you need to merge your personalities.
Okay.
That's what I said with Still Like an Artist, right? You have like 3 different things that sound like they're not connected.
Yeah.
And now you find ways to connect it to who you are. So for example, you say you skate?
Yes.
What is it like? Skating on the road?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's adventure for me.
Yeah, it is. Really, it can get pretty fast.
Yeah. So I am pretty sure you can find a way to share that with your calm voice as the background. That doesn't have to be like boom, boom, bam, high, what is it, Mr. Beast kind of like videos.
No, I'm still a girl.
But it's still adventure. Exactly, still a girl.
Skating.
You make the feminine way. So you have to find a way that fits to you, that makes... So you have different things to play with, right? And so I like to look at it like it's kind of like a game board. Okay, so I have my voice to play with. I have my background. I have my outfits. I have my daily life, like my fun hobbies that are very interesting to look at on screen, which is like skating, for example. Maybe I have a special relationship. I have the place that I live in, right? Dubai is very interesting. It's very aesthetic.
It is.
When you travel, now you're traveling to Germany, like the whole travel is also very interesting.
True.
It's again, your unfair advantage. What do you do? What do you have that other people don't have?
Yeah.
And then you can play with these things, right? You can say, okay, let me combine the adventure with my calm voice as a voiceover, right? And you say, for example, the visual can still be super like adventurous, be like falling down or like, whatever.
Almost,
something funny in the hook.
Yeah.
And then you keep going and you kind of can link the like falling and getting back up to business. I don't know. That could be something.
Yeah.
Or something that made you, so always think about the learning. So you go through life, right? Every single day you have thoughts about your life, your business, your clients, your expertise, your vision, your values, whatever it might be. Whatever you're thinking of, and this is what I say so often. Yesterday, someone asked me, like, how do you come up with this content? I'm like, that's my alter ego at 3 a.m. having random ideas. Okay, I'm just writing things down. And so you need to write these things down, the reflections you have.
Yeah.
I call this embrace being the nerd. I can't watch a TV show without analyzing someone's personal brand. Like, I will talk to my husband, like, this is why Jessica Pearson on Suits is so charismatic.
Okay.
Like, this is why this person is so funny. This is why this movie, like, this person is so memorable. This is why Lorelai Gilmore this is why Lorelai Gilmore has such a strong personal brand, because she has recognizable patterns. Like, she drinks her coffee every morning. She has like the same kind of outfit. She talks super fast.
Yeah.
And so I am a nerd when it comes to personal branding. I cannot watch a person, a movie, a TV show without talking about this to someone. And so what are you a nerd in?
Okay,
that
beautiful.
Whenever you're at a restaurant and something happens, or you see a dish, or you go skating and you're like, I have to talk about this with someone. Like, you are a nerd in this thing. Be that nerd in your content. So find parallels. Like, this skating made me think about business. Or again, I watched this TV show and I thought about this. Or I saw this campaign, or I bought ketchup the other day and I wondered, why is the label like this, not like this? Here's what I think. And you make it fun. So you show us how you see the world.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, you go through, for example, you go to a restaurant. I'm pretty sure you're like a person like this. You go to like a restaurant.
Just trying to tell me I like to eat a lot of food.
No.
I'm a Taurus. I love food.
Oh,
I love
there
food.
you go.
Yeah.
So you go to a restaurant. Like, I didn't know this about you. So then you see a menu and you're like, you know why this menu is so beautiful? Because they did this, this, and that. Or you know why the people love to come here? Because the decor does this and that. And you draw parallels to how a brand would do it.
Yeah.
Right? And so you show us your daily life. You went to the restaurant. You love food. But you also show us
how it can be adopted. The context of it to your topic.
Yes. But it's not the context.
Oh,
to
yeah,
your
sorry.
topic. It's
that
you
was too
being
German.
A nerd.
The context, yeah.
Just think about it. Like, embrace being the nerd and show us how you see the world.
Yeah.
Like, that's all that content is.
Yeah.
Is you show us the world through your eyes.
Yeah.
And so it could be you at like a very aesthetic restaurant with beautiful background, just telling us the story of how you feel like this menu was so successful because of the whatever design. And then you find ways to, again, move these different, like the voice, the aesthetic, maybe the background sound, the topics you talk about, maybe your little weird quirks, like you love to eat, or you have
I do have a lot of
skating, or
a
you
lot
have
of quirks,
your dog.
Yeah.
Make those things part of your content.
Love that. Yeah, I should. But do you test certain things in your stories first? Because you're not posting a lot of stories in that way, but did you do that like before when you didn't know which direction to go? Because sometimes, I think about it, I'm like, let me share it in my story to see how people resonate. I know that the algorithm might not show it to everyone, but you can see that certain stories pick up so fast. Have you ever tried that? Because I was thinking about it in order for me to try certain things, because eventually we will talk about demand as well, because eventually it's about content that converts. So you need to create a demand, and you said it at the beginning, the demand is created by you just sharing it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, it's not that the demand is there and you're trying to figure out where do I fit. No. And that's how you preach it or teach it in your framework, in your program as well. So getting back to it, I even lost, because I was just looking into Sina's eyes. I even lost my thread right now, but I was just saying, I think it's...
Do you test content?
Yes. I think it's so crucial to see as well what works. And that's what I'm curious about that you did as well.
Okay, I'm not a fan of testing on your stories.
Okay.
Unless it's hooks.
Okay.
So for example, I like to test hooks where I write the hook and I see what the reactions are.
Yeah.
But number one, your stories, only your followers see your stories.
Yeah. Sometimes No, only your followers. Yeah.
Only your followers.
So the other ones count through reels.
Unless you
then.
go viral and suddenly 20 people from a video check out your
sometimes
story.
They have these bots that get in as well. But I'm not talking about the bots.
Right?
No, I'm not talking about. But sometimes there's like real people, and I'm like, where did that person come from? But maybe it's through the reels then.
Yes.
So they're like curious,
but they're kind of just like checking your story.
Yeah, you're right.
99% of your stories are your followers, and so I like to go full in. Just post the damn video. Post the video, because you cannot learn without putting yourself out there. And if this video doesn't perform, then the video tomorrow performs. And maybe you can repost it in a month, shorter or with a better hook, whatever. I do like to test hooks now because obviously my audience I have a 300,000 audience. So it makes sense to do research.
Yeah.
If you have your dream clients in your audience, it's not bad to test topics and stories.
Okay.
So if you're feeling like, oh, I would love to share a little bit more about my
a program that I'm working on?
Or dog, or a story from my childhood.
To test it.
But I feel a little like, I don't know if it would be relevant. I don't know if people would resonate with it. Then you can share it on your stories first. And you will see anyways if it's emotional. People will react to it. And then you're like, okay, never mind. Let me do it on my post. So for example, I used to share a lot in my stories, like daily life with a newborn. And then I saw a lot of they resonated a lot with the idea of having a baby and having a business. So that gave me a good sign that I should be creating more content for me as a mom in business, featuring my son. Obviously, you never see his face, but just him being there or them seeing that I'm a mom worked really well in my content. And every time he's like camouflaged somewhere in there, the piece of content resonates much more, especially if it's funny or if it's like something dramatic happening or if he's hitting my face while I'm recording, something funny, right? Relatable. But I wouldn't have known this unless I posted it in my stories and they suddenly I knew that I have a lot of moms that follow me or women that want to be moms.
Yes.
And they love to see this type of content. So that's something that I kind of tested, but
not cautiously, right? You just
it's not like I have a piece of content and I post it in my stories first, and if it doesn't work, no. If you have the piece of content, you post it in your reels.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you feel like you just want to share something and you like don't really know how to share it or if people like it, post it in your stories.
Yeah.
Sure. That's how you do research.
Yeah, I think, and you know, I think a lot of people are not aware that this is research, and they think they need to sit down with a paper and then Google their competitors. But everything we do is research. Every conversation that we have is research.
You should never do research on your competitors. You should always do research on your clients.
And you know what I want to tell you? The reason why my content is boring is because currently I didn't have full time to check in my community that much. So I feel like, and I'm honestly open to say that to everyone who wrote me, and you guys, I love you, but currently it's been a bit ups and downs. But anyhow, feeling a disconnect will make you think twice about what should I share as well.
Because of course,
you disconnected. And I think it happens to all of us because we might be busy with current clients or whatsoever. That doesn't mean that it should happen, but it could happen in business, right? But I think what's then important for you to know is that once you get back in contact with your people, the ideas will flow because there's conversation happening. Yeah. Sometimes people feel like blank asking ChatGPT, what should I post today? Because they simply simply don't connect with the people with their dreams.
But this is something that I think you should do as well, because one of the things, I don't actually know anything about you. I didn't know about the skating. I didn't know about your dog because we talked about it last time. But it was very fresh.
Yeah.
So I don't know like how the relationship is now. So you start sharing. You can start sharing even if there's something going on in your personal life. You don't actually have to reveal what's going on, but you can give hints.
Teasers,
Yeah, and people are like, oh my God, like I'm going through the same. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
I would love to hear what you're doing at the moment to just keep yourself calm. Yeah, boom, another content idea.
Yes.
So just share the process. And number one, like the perfection is what's holding you back right now. The perfection is definitely what held me back then. Like just not admitting that there's something going on. That's what's like paralyzing you from doing anything.
Yeah.
And it's also paralyzing your creativity because you're
right.
like, okay, I'm going through this, but I don't want to share it. And then later it's going to be too late to share. And what do I share now? Like it kind of like
and your brain keeps thinking, but I need to share something, right?
I need to share something to keep them entertained. Yeah.
The struggle is real. But yeah, you're
share
right.
a journey. And that's the funny thing, because you are a person, right? You've been following me since then.
Yes.
A lot of people follow me since I have 200,000 followers, or just recently, right? But you actually went through this journey with me.
Yes.
That's why you have so many questions, and you have you feel so inspired because you went through it with me.
Yes.
Like I didn't just like pop up on your feed.
I just
successful.
No, but I feel I am always focused on the energy I feel with people. I trust my intuition. I feel like, again, as women, we have that's given to us too.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's something, I mean, when I saw you back then, and I was like, there's something that interests me, that woman, in Sina.
And then not anymore. And then again.
No, come on. But I honestly say it, and another podcast, I had somebody who was doing a numerology who was trying to figure out who I am. And she was saying that you're a really honest person. I'm like, yes, I am. I'm really honest. But yeah, I am honest. But what I mean is, it's not about your person. It's about what you said in that certain phase of your time.
Exactly.
But then you came back into my life, and that had a reason too, because now I have the 4th episode together with you. And I just feel like it's such a smooth conversation that we don't need notes, we don't need anything. We're just looking into each other's eyes and bouncing up ideas. And I think that's pretty magic too, right?
Yes,
you cannot do that with everyone.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels forced, and I'm really happy to do that. So
we talked a lot about content in general.
Yes,
finding
let's get
your
into
content vibes.
Yeah.
I think now let's talk about content that converts.
Yes, let's get into that.
A lot of people are thinking that me going viral will make me successful or make me money. Now, I have women that come to me with 50,000 followers. They have like 1 million view reels every month, and they're struggling to pay their groceries. I literally had one of my mentees just say recently to me, like, Sina, you don't know this, but I'm now like a huge testimonial for your program. But 2 months before I joined the garden, I had to ask a friend for grocery money. And I was like, that's insane, because you had 50,000 followers. You went viral every 2 weeks.
Yes.
People were like commenting. There was a lot of engagement. But that doesn't mean it converts.
No.
Right? And so there's a huge difference between content that just resonates with people, makes them want to follow you, makes them want to tell you how inspiring you are, and like learn from you, versus people who buy.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a huge difference.
Let's talk about it.
Okay, what are your questions?
No, let's talk about, because eventually there's a huge difference, but one helps the others. You just have to, I think you just have to make sure that you always keep, maybe we can talk about a certain framework or certain tips you give to your clients, or you can use an example of your...
I'll use an example from my journey. So what's very important is you attract what you reflect.
Yeah, I love that.
So when you reflect certain values or even use certain words, you will attract certain people. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give a very simple example. If you say, if you're lazy, here's a 5-minute workout for you, you will attract lazy people. Do lazy people usually invest in a workout program? No. Do lazy people invest in themselves in general? No. Are they ambitious? Are they going to actually, apply what you give them? No. So they're horrible clients. Why would you create that piece of content?
Yeah, you're right.
You attract a lot of people. Yes, you will get a lot of views. You might go viral, and then you get people who don't buy your program or ask you for discounts, or ask like, do you have like a $25 like workout course instead of a 2,500 program?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Cringe.
So instead, again, ask yourself, who's your dream client?
Yeah.
And how would I speak to her? It would not be, you're lazy and you need a 5-minute workout. By the way, the 5-minute workout is the same thing. But instead you're saying, you're coming back from a busy work day, you have your baby there, and you have exactly 5 minutes between coming home and making dinner to work out. Here's what you need to do.
And you're like, yes, that's me.
That's me. Yes. That's a working woman. She's coming back from her business. She has a family. So she's like, has something to work for. And she's obviously ambitious and wants to be productive, because like, I want to do whatever I can in these 5 minutes.
Yeah.
She's going to be the one, investing in your program, actually doing the work, and you're going to see results. She's going to be your best testimonial for your other clients. So these are the type of people you want to bring in. Now, A lot of people are going to say like, yeah, but I'm also like, I also want to attract not people who are already ready, maybe people a little bit before. You will anyways.
Yeah, you're right.
A millionaire follows a billionaire's advice. Okay, they're not billionaires yet. They follow a billionaire's advice. A student will follow a 35-year-old businesswoman's advice. Someone who's just starting to learn yoga and Pilates is going to follow a super jacked girl that, you know, has done this for years. You will attract anyways people who look up to that part, right? Yeah. And so when I was making 10K a month, I was watching content for women who were saying, this is how you get from 100 to 200,000. And I was like, I'm not even making 100,000 a month yet.
No.
But I was watching that content. And so that's what you need to understand. You will get people anyways. You don't need to convert them now. They might not be ready yet, and that's totally fine. I have women that say that follow me since I have 10,000 followers, and now they've joined my program.
Yeah, it takes trust, and it takes you to be in the right. You know, it's the three types of trust. They need to trust you. They need to trust what you offer, and eventually they need to trust themselves. And sometimes we forget that. Sometimes people are not in the right phase of their life to invest as well, right? So just because these are the factors that play a role, so it doesn't have to be your content. It could be them as well. They need maybe some more time too. Yes. So I think that's important to highlight as well. And I love that you gave that impulse because it could be that they're just waiting, and you could figure it out by talking to them and maybe adjusting and being more open to help them as well, right?
Yeah. And so when I started to shift my content, I started to attract a lot of like young students, girls that were not confident, because I was talking about confidence. I was talking about goal setting. I was talking about productivity.
Yeah, and you're confident, mashallah. So they were like, I want to be like her.
Exactly. Yeah. But those were like 18-year-old, 19-year-old girls. They didn't even know why would I invest in this? I have no business. I haven't even had a job yet.
I need to ask my mom and dad.
Exactly.
Right,
and I definitely don't have the money for it.
Yeah.
And so I started to attract a wide audience in the beginning, right? You remember when I did a lot of B-roll videos about goal setting, confidence, discipline?
Yes.
That was very early. I started to grow really fast.
Yeah.
I started to grow like 10,000 followers every month, then 20,000. Right? And then I shifted because I was like, if I know how to attract that many people, then I might as well attract people who are ready to buy. Yeah. Because I attracted a lot of young girls. This is why I wanted to say, like, this is like from my actual experience. When I started to share these like productivity, goal setting videos, I would attract a lot of like young students, women that didn't have a job yet, that just wanted to start with their career, and they were super inspired. But they were not financially...
The right fit.
Yeah, there yet.
Yes.
And so when I started to shift, I started to see, okay, some content is getting me a lot of followers, but not the right ones. And then some content is converting, but it's actually not getting a lot of views.
So what did you do? You mixed them?
Yes. First of all, you mix, because in the beginning it doesn't matter.
Yeah, because the algorithm just sees, hey, somebody likes that, so they will push the other one too, right?
It could be, but it's more like not every single piece of content needs to go viral.
Yeah, you're right.
There's a piece of content from me that has 700,000 views. Yeah. And I don't think it got me any clients. Yeah. No. It attracted a lot of like young girls that just got inspired or motivated to like work on themselves, right?
Yeah.
Girls that are literally like 5 years behind my dream client. Yes. I had another video that only had 10,000 views. I know for a lot of people 10,000 is a lot, but at the time I already had 200,000 followers.
Yes.
10,000 views, and it got me 5 clients. These 5 clients paid over 5K for a program. Yeah. Do the math of how much this could be, and it doesn't actually matter if this goes viral. No. That's why I always say, last time we talked about, did we talk about it last time? Yes, your portfolio, right? Yes. This is why you should pin, when people pin posts. Yes. Your pin post on Instagram should actually not be the ones that go viral. Unless they are also the ones that give you clients. Okay. Because here's what people do. And they do it everywhere. I don't know why they do this.
They put the best performing ones.
They post the best, but it's already going viral. Why would you want to push this?
I want to show that people want to see
Yes, exactly. It's the ego. Like, yes. It's like, this is my 1 million view video. Look at it. Give me more views on it. Yeah. And it doesn't make any sense because it's already going viral anyways. You can push it by answering comments. You can push it by resharing it in your stories. You don't actually need to pin it, because here's what pinned posts are for. When people find you through any posts, okay, any post, it could be a viral post, it could be a post about your vlog, it doesn't actually matter. They come to your account and they're asking themselves 2 questions. Is she worth following? Should I buy what she has? Obviously, you're not really asking the second, but you want them to ask the second. So your pinned post shouldn't be another viral video that's just inspirational, motivational, whatever. No, it should be the number 1 post that gets you the most clients, the number 1 post that shows your expertise. Okay, this is where you can brag. And the number 1 post that gets you most followers. Okay, so the post that makes people fall in love with you, and that's usually your story, your why. That's the reason why I would follow you, is because I know why you do the things you do. Now, you could be showing me like an inspirational like video, and I would go to your profile and I see 3 more inspirational videos, but I'm like,
I had that already.
Yeah, I mean, I was already inspired. Let me move on. But if I see, she has
this as well,
this, and we have this much in common, and this is what she does for work. Oh my God, I need to follow her. Right. Or I'm actually going to reach out. So that's where I pinned the 10K post to my pinned post, because it already got me 5 clients.
Yes.
So whoever comes back to my page and is new here, maybe they're also going to convert, right? And this is why it's so important to not think about too much. Is this post now going viral? But is this post talking to my dream client? And is it actually converting? And then later, what we're going to do, and this is what I do in Module 5 in my program, we're actually going to find what makes your content successful, and we combine it with what makes people convert.
Okay.
If you found that,
that's the masterpiece.
That's the masterpiece.
Yeah.
And that for me happened the first time 10 months ago, where suddenly I found a format, and I call it my signature series. Everyone should have signature series. For me, it was case studies. You know how I said, be a nerd? Yeah. And I said, I can't watch anyone do anything without analyzing their personal brand. Yeah. I used that in my content, finally. I was like, I'm a nerd anyways. I'm just talking about it anyways. Let me just record it. Yeah. And so I recorded a case study on Nara Smith and why her personal brand is so strong. Yeah. And that went viral. Within 2 days, it got 1 million views. And it got me most of my clients for the next couple of months. And so I just duplicated that. I did more of the same signature series, case studies. Yeah. For you, it might be something different, right? Like, for example, for my client, Hannah, she's in my program. She's actually the one that I just talked about, where she has 50,000 followers. She had no income. Then she joined. She made 15,000 euros in the first week. And one of her pieces where she goes viral and has clients, it's actually her story, her why. Leaving medicine as a doctor, and then she almost died in that job. She left, and now she's building up her own business as a holistic health coach. And so the way that she shares it is through B-roll. So B-roll from her time as a doctor with voiceover. And it's literally 20-second videos. Every time she talks about her story with B-roll, voiceover, 20 seconds, it goes viral. And that content, we moved it so it can also convert clients. So now we just added a few more sentences that made it from just a viral video that just gets a lot of people that are inspired by her story to the type of video that convert to clients. And so that's when you figure out, you have to combine things. Okay, this is what works with the masses. This is what converts. How can I combine these two?
Interesting. I love that you're mentioning it. And I think it's such a great way to say you need to test and try things to first figure out what works, and then to figure out how you can combine them too, because there's no framework or masterpiece for it. Eventually, it still needs to be tried and checked. And it's not something that stays for the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. You test it, and then you might need to adopt it and change it again. Yeah. And I think that's the beauty, and that's something that I think both of us want to highlight in here. Eventually, we're talking about expertise and experiences we had, but eventually it still needs to be tested and tried by yourself. You have to execute it and do it. So I would love to end this podcast with asking you, what is something you would love to tell people in order to convert, because eventually we want them to own a successful business, right? We want them to create content to inspire other people. I'm not just talking about monetary things, but I'm also talking about making an impact in people's life, being more seen and heard.
Yeah.
What would you like to share with them?
Okay, so number one thing, something you can do right now is whatever content you share a call to action in the comments to send you a message to apply to work with you. Very simple. Very simple. Very, very simple, because you never know which type of content will attract those people.
Yeah.
Same call to action, DM me this word in order to apply for my coaching, DM me this word in order to start working with me and use my services. And then you will see what post will attract most clients and you do more of that post. And then we're working on these variations, like what are the variables that make something successful? And it could be whenever I tell my story, I get clients.
Yeah.
Whenever my baby shows up in the video, I get clients. Yeah. Whenever I use B-roll with a voiceover, whenever I have a podcast interview, whenever I have a vlog and you see me in the first frame, that happens, right? And you want to then combine those variables to then create your masterpiece. Yeah. And so I always look for signature series. Signature series means it's a series that I can actually binge watch. And so if you can find series, like one series could be a vlog, one series could be a storytelling, one series could be a podcast format where you analyze something, then you can actually, see what converts people to either follow or become clients. Now, how do you know this? Number one, if you go to your post analytics, you will see follows. So how many people followed you. This is what I do with all of my mentees, where we actually go into the back end and we see, this video only got 5,000 views, but it got me 200 followers. That's a lot, right? This video got 400,000 views and it got me 200 followers. The ratio is different, right?
Yeah.
And so then you can take actions from that. You also should, in your discovery calls, ask how people find you.
Yes.
So you can figure out what type of content resonates with them.
Yes.
But by far, the thing that converts most clients is your why. Yeah. It's your story. It's what you went through. It's your I'm done moments. Every single time I had this, I can tell you literally from last week. Sadaf, one of my clients, she's in the garden. She was struggling to get clients that would pay a lot, right? So her program, we just raised it to £3,500. All of the leads that she had before was like, I thought it was like £200. I don't have more than £500. I'm sorry. And so she kept attracting people that weren't her dream clients that couldn't afford her services. She shared her story. Literally 5 days later, she closed 2 clients, equaling £8,500. Same, and she's a coach, right? Same with another mentee of mine that shared her story, and she has a fashion business, right? She has actually a product business. And she shared her story in a reel, and she got 3 magazine features.
Nice.
2 keynote speaking gigs.
Nice.
So just the sheer amount, every time they share their why, they get clients. And it's because I can resonate with you. It's because what we talked about earlier, you already solve problems for yourself.
Yes.
So you've proven to me that you can solve my problem. And you don't do it by saying, I can solve your problem. You say, this is what I went through. This is how I came out of it. That's it. You don't even have to promote yourself. You don't have to say, buy my program. That could be in the caption, literally. Comment this word or DM me this word to apply. The post itself does not actually have to be a promotion. It's just you telling a story. And that's how you stop chasing and start attracting.
If you want to find out more about how you can define your story to stop chasing and start attracting, then check the show notes where you find all the information to get in contact with Sina and to get to know more about what she's doing. So if you're curious, check the show notes. And
yeah, you can just apply for my mentoring. You can watch my master classes. They're all free online. And just at Sina Port Official, I'll see you there.